as long ago the father of our country prayed that it might remain unentangled and free.
Italian troops training at the leash were set off to invade Abyssinia. Nucci was encouraged in his African venture. The League of Nations had taken no action in the Wall controversy, and Mussolini was aware of a secret agreement between France and Britain not to interfere with his plans. On October 3rd, 1935, more than 250,000 Italian troops, complemented by thousands of well-trained Somali natives, crossed the northern and southern borders of Ethiopia. They advanced unchallenged for 2 days. From Addis Ababa, Selassie announced to the world that Italy was the aggressor. He fervently hoped that his barefoot soldiers with World War I weapons would be rescued from massacre by the League of Nations. His strategy was to send small units to the front at first and let the desolate mountain and desert terrain hold back the invaders. The first major confrontation was at Adawa, the site of the Italian defeat in 1896. Perhaps not since the invention of gunpowder had one army enjoyed such military supremacy. It took only 4 days for the fascist army to achieve victory and avenge their earlier humiliation. The war was marked by much pure savagery. Mussolini's mechanized army decimated Selassie's primitive tribesmen. France's Pierre Laval, whose secret agreement paved the way for Mussolini's conquest, guided the League of Nations toward the imposition of only mild sanctions against Italy. The League censured Italy as the aggressor and suspended all economic relations with her, but voted against sending arms or troops to Selassie. The vote satisfied the conscience of most European leaders who refused to see beyond the hypocrisy of their actions. For all intents and purposes, Ethiopia had been sacrificed. The fear of a potential alliance between Italy and Germany had paralyzed European statesmen.
In cui Roma aveva Cesare, Virgilio ed Augusto.
Mussolini protested that his cause was just and resigned Italy from the League of Nations. World opinion turned against Italy. In England, where the public was revolted by Mussolini's bullyism and disgusted by the League's impotence, Italian-owned stores became targets for frustration and anger. Throughout American urban ghettos like New York's Harlem, angry blacks protested and smashed the windows of Italian shopkeepers. Nevertheless, government policy remained neutral.
The United States is following a twofold neutrality towards any and all nations which engage in wars that are not of immediate concern to the Americas. First, we decline to encourage the prosecution of war by permitting belligerents to obtain arms, ammunition, or implements of war from the United States. Nations seeking expansion.
FDR did manage to get Congress approval of a moral embargo on trade with Italy of all raw materials except oil.
I think it would be quite fair to say, with hindsight certainly, that the United States did very little to enforce any moral embargo other than making protestations and declarations. I think it's quite clear that had there been an effective embargo against oil for the Italian war machine, that the Italian invasion would have had to come to a halt.
Mussolini, with a free hand to pursue the war, ordered his army to conquer Ethiopia as quickly as possible. Marshal Badoglio was put in charge and authorized to use any weapons or tactics necessary to win the war. This included mustard gas, though outlawed by the Geneva Convention. Badoglio, a witness to Billy Mitchell's demonstration of air power, now put the lesson to appalling use. Mussolini's brother Vittorio, a pilot, enjoyed killing from the air. These were his words. As the bomb fell in their midst and blew them up, one group of horsemen gave me the impression of a budding rose unfolding. Reports of poison gas, indiscriminate bombings, and other atrocities stunned the Western world. Mussolini's heroic image was tarnished by adverse, if not always accurate, press reports.
There was a good deal of confusion